Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. All right, what's up? What's up, y'all? Oh, let me get my let me start taping this. All right, let me do this. All right, hold up. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Uh-huh. All right, y'all. What's good? What's good? I'm back in the building. I'm back in the building. All right, y'all. So look, check this out. Uh, okay. Hey, look. Hey, look. Y'all, y'all see my bed back there? I've been in there laying in it. So we're doing my work, getting ready for this. That's cool. As long as y'all know I'm in a hotel. So look, it is what it is. All right, y'all. All right, tell me number one. All right, this is Coach Ken, aka the doctor, aka the doctor. And what I want to say to y'all is, I want to say to y'all, I'm back in the building. Let me know where you calling from. Let me know where you calling in from, and let me know that, because I need to know, because we're gonna get it tonight. I got something good. I've been away for a minute. And so you missed me. I missed you too. All right, I missed you too. All right, so tell me where you calling in from. We got Vanessa from South Dakota in the building, and now put your name on there too. Put your name on there. All right, let's say Ernestine from Atlanta. That's Sarah too from Nigeria in the building. Natalie MJ from New Jersey. All right, Terry from Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the building. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Listen. Hey, what's up, Marianne? How you doing? All right, we got Mary Terrell from Detroit. We got Kathy from Chi-Town in the building. All right, y'all. So look, just so you know, I'm gonna go and tell y'all this. Y'all notice I haven't been on. I haven't been on for a few weeks now. Well, just so you know, your boy's been out, and I've been doing something, been following my dream. And one of the things I've been doing is I have been filming a television show. You know what? Don't ask me which television show. Don't ask me anything like that, because it's coming out. It's gonna coming out. But I've been filming some stuff. All right. And so it's gonna be out soon on a television near you or a computer. But I've been following my dreams. And what I'm going to say to you tonight, there are many of you out there who have a dream to do something great in your life. And because of fear, because someone else told you that you couldn't have it, because someone else told you you weren't worthy, you have decided that you're going to put that particular thing in your life on hold. And what I will say to you all is this, is that each one of you has greatness inside of you. Each one of you can have what you want. You know what? Each one of you, God says, the Bible says, God says, I will give you the desires of your heart. But he will not give you the desires of your heart if you're not willing to do the work for it. And some of us are unwilling to do the work for it. Some of us are unwilling to step outside of our comfort zone to get the things that we desire. That being said, that you got to be willing. I remember a revelation that God gave me years ago, and the revelation was simply this: was it was um, everything I've got for you lies outside your comfort zone. And that simply means that we've got to be willing to step outside our comfort zone and do things that make us uncomfortable. All right. And so in this new season, for me, we just did our 5 day challenge, me and Rose, and the 5 day challenge was amazing. And y'all, anybody, and I introduced the new program that I'm going to start at the first of the year. It's called Right Man, Right Relationship. It's going to be it's a 4 month program. It's going to be, and I promise you, if you are willing to, if you want to join this 4 month program, you are going to be in a relationship before the year is out. All right. I ain't going into why, how, why, all of that. But I will say this much. If you're interested in it, all you got to do is I'll set up a time to talk with you about it. I'm not giving advice. I'm just talking about the program because there are 15 slots already taken. I got 5 slots left. If you know that in 2023 that you want to do something different, you want to be in a relationship, then honestly, you got to step outside your comfort zone. And yeah, it is amazing what's outside your comfort zone. So y'all can reach out to me. You can inbox me, text me, whatever, and I'll set up a time with you, and we'll make it work. All right. All right. But tonight I've got a topic because I am putting together a course, and this course is called Right Man, Right Relationship, and it's a program. And in that course, y'all, it was one day it was hitting me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what I was doing. I was working on something else, and it came to me because a few years ago my father passed, and when he passed, um, I preached his eulogy. Okay. Um, and I preached his eulogy, and I preached it based on there's a book by Miguel Ruiz called The Four Agreements. And I read this book a few years ago and he talked about the 4 agreements that a person should have with themselves. And I thought the book was so profound at the moment. It was so profound that it literally changed my life. And so I preached it at my father's funeral. Now, so the other day, I don't know how this happened. Other day, about 6 weeks ago, I was contemplating. I was recording my program, and in the program, I was contemplating just how I was going to organize things, and it came to me like out of nowhere. It was like people who want to get in a relationship should have the 4 dating agreements. And it just hit me what they were. And part of it was I went back to the book, The 4 Agreements, and then I thought about how if people would operate this way in dating, that they would meet the person of their dreams, that they could meet the person of their dreams, and they wouldn't get caught up in other stuff. They wouldn't get caught up in other bullshit. They wouldn't get caught up in what people thought about them. They wouldn't get caught up in if they weren't good enough. But there were 4 agreements, 4 things that if they did, they could meet the person of their dreams. And this is in my course that I'm doing, but I'm going to give them to you tonight. But I'm also, if anybody wants to get on with me, as always, let me put the link. I'm going to put the link right here in this section. All right. If you want to get on with me, I just put the link down here. If you're on YouTube, here's the link. If you want to get on with me, and you have questions about what we're going to talk about, so let's jump right in. So I was telling you about I did this my dad's eulogy, okay, and because I did his eulogy, I realized there were principles that he helped me to live by. There were principles. And the reason I preached the 4 agreements at his eulogy is because he lived by these agreements. Now, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them to you tonight. Now, if you want to call in or something like that, it might be a minute before I jump on and get to you because I want to get these out tonight. I'm gonna give you the reason. All right, the four dating agreements created by Ken Canion, inspired by Miguel Ruiz, and inspired because I realized that anyone that has had a successful relationship that I have orchestrated, that I have helped, that I have facilitated, or even ones that I have not facilitated, had these agreements. Okay, here we go. Number one, the first dating agreement is you must be authentically you. If you make, you have to be willing to make an agreement with yourself that I am not going to send my representative, that nobody can be me other than me. Nobody can be, I must be authentic. I must be willing to show the person who I truly am. Now, a lot of people are not willing to show somebody who they truly are. And what we do is we send our representative because we think that the representative is more acceptable to the person that we are attempting to woo, attempting to find out if they're right for us. We think that that person will accept our representative, have an affinity for our representative than who we really are. And so the first agreement that you have to make with yourself is this: you have to be willing to speak your truth. You have to be willing to say your core values. You have to be willing to say your beliefs and your convictions at the beginning. Because if you're not willing to say them at the beginning, what happens is you run the risk that the person might fall in love with the representative, and they realize that the representative 6 months down the road, that the representative isn't the one that they fell in love with. But how many of you have gotten to know somebody, and then you realize that that person is not the person you thought they were, because they got tired of showing the representative, they got tired of presenting the representative, and then they start being themselves, and then you say, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this person? I don't know who this person is. And you think that the person has changed. The reality is they have not changed. They have not changed. What it is they've simply revealed who they were. And so I'm telling people, make an agreement with the person, and you tell them what you stand for. Also tell them what you stand against. Listen, y'all, people out, and when I'm coaching somebody, I'm saying, listen, tell a person what you stand for, but also tell them what you stand against. See, we'll tell somebody what we stand for, but we won't tell them what we stand against, because what you stand against is as important as what you stand for. So the first agreement that you have to make with yourself is, I am going to be authentically me. I am not going to send my representative. I'm going to let the person see who I truly am. And the reason why you want to do that is because so they can make a quick decision of whether they like you or not. Y'all, most of us don't do it because, you know what, we're afraid that the person might not like what they see. Well, if they don't like what they see, ain't it good that you know early? Isn't it wonderful that you know early who that is? Number two. The second agreement is, and this came directly from Miguel Ruiz, don't make assumptions. And when I thought about when he wrote that in the book, he says, don't make assumptions about anything. We make a lot of assumptions about people. We make a lot of assumptions about things. We make a lot of assumptions about who the person is. And I often tell people this: we're making an assumption about the person because we're viewing the person through the lens of our pain many times. And so when we view the person through the lens of our pain, we make an assumption based on pain. Notice what I just said. And I call that our pain brain. You make an assumption based on pain. And when you make an assumption based on pain, it is filtered through the pain lens. And so what happens is everything you do, is I don't want to do that because they remind me of Johnny. I don't want to do that because anybody that does that is going to lead to this. And you make an assumption about them. You make an assumption about what they're going to like. So what you do, you don't tell them. And what I say is you have to have the courage, y'all, to ask deeper questions. And so, most of you who followed me know that I have a methodology to help you really find out who anybody is, who any particular person is. Because I've told you in the past that I teach people not to ask conscious questions. I teach you to ask subconscious questions. What are conscious questions, you might ask? Things like this, y'all. What school do you go to? Did you go to? Well, where did you graduate from? Or how many kids do you have? Where do you work? These conscious questions are questions that don't require thought. They're on the top of your brain, so there's a conscious responses. When I teach people, I say, let's ask subconscious questions. For instance, a subconscious question might be, what two things did you learn from your last relationship? Okay. A subconscious question might be, tell me a goal that you have not achieved yet, that you desire, and what is keeping you from it. Tell me your two deepest fears and why are you afraid of them? And so many of us are afraid to ask questions like that. So what we do is we make an assumption about the person without ever knowing the person. And so, what I say to them, don't make an assumption. Be willing to ask the questions. Be willing to be clear, add clarity about your desires. Because how many times have you made an assumption? Well, you know what? They should know how to open the door for me. They should know to come open my door. No, they don't. They don't know if you've never communicated it. And you're making an assumption that they know. They should know that I want this because I ain't going to raise no man. I ain't going to do this. And I say, that's interesting, because what happens is you're penalizing a person because they don't know how to love you, how to treat you. You have to train people. You have to. And so that's why you cannot make assumptions. When I heard that in Ruiz's book, I thought, wow, how many assumptions do I make on a daily basis? Quite a few. Quite a few assumptions. All of us do. And so what I'm saying to you is, listen, don't make assumptions. Be willing to ask the questions. Be willing to ask the tough questions. If you don't know how to ask, if you don't know what to ask, what I want you to do is go join, go to my website, coachken.com, coachkencanion.com. And what I want you to do is go over there and download my book. Just ask 50 questions to know if he's the one. All right. I got 50 questions. Yo, I even created a list of questions. I'm doing a whole new list of questions now for couples. Let me show y'all. Y'all see, I done already started writing it. So let me share with you just some of the questions that these are for couples. Here's one for couple. It says, um, number one, what can I do to enhance this relationship? Another question might be, what can we do together that has a greater purpose or meaning in our relationship? Ooh, that's deep. Ooh. All right. All right. When we attempt to resolve conflict, do you feel heard? If not, tell me why. All of these questions that I'm creating help people get to know the person on a deeper level. All right. That was just questions for couples. All right. Number three, this one also came from Ruiz's book, and I thought it was great for dating. Don't take anything personal. Don't take it personal. This is a tough one because many times we internalize things personally. Why do we internalize it personally? Based on, again, going back to the lens that we're looking looking through, based on the lens of our subconscious programming, based on the things that we've been taught to believe. If mama and them said I wasn't gonna be nothing, if mama and them said I was only gonna get the type of man, nobody was going to love me, or the man says, you know what, you're gonna be a little bitch your whole life, and we internalize it, and we can't help but take it personally because we're filtering through our subconscious programming. All right, our subconscious programming, if they told us we were going to be this or we weren't going to be anything. And so now when somebody says something, I'll give you a prime example. A lot of women that I coach get triggered when a man wants sex from them. And I say, why do you get triggered? Why do you get upset? Because men are wired to want sex. So, well, that's all he wants. I said, why are you getting upset? The reason you're getting upset is because you are filtering his request through an idea of devaluement. Okay, here's what I mean. When he wants sex, what you're filtering that request through is he's devaluing me, because if he valued me, he wouldn't ask for sex. Now, that's not necessarily true. He might want sex for you and still value you. He may not value you. All right. But here's the thing. The thing is this, is you take it personal because he wants sex from you without wanting anything else in your mindset. And so when he doesn't want anything else from you have the assumption, you create the assumption that he is devaluing you. And he's not devaluing you. He just wants sex. He just wants sex. And so what I tell people is, allow people to be themselves. You have the right to be yourself. If he says I want sex, I don't have to internalize that he doesn't devalue me. I simply internalize that as you want sex, but I'm not going to give it to you. It's his right to request. It's my right to refuse. And what happens is, but when you take it personally, you internalize it. Now, I want to say this. Y'all got to know, every day I put out a video, some days 2 videos. And there are many people who say things like, he don't know what the fuck he talking about. This shit ain't true. Nope, he's a simp. He's this and he's that. Now, the reason I don't take it personal is because I know who I am. I do. I don't know what lens they're filtering that from. I don't know if it's coming from their pain, their past trauma. I don't know what they're filtering my comments through. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care because it doesn't make my comments, my videos less effective or less true. What it is I don't internalize what they say about me. You know why? I don't take it personal. I don't care. They talk about the glasses I wear. They talk about the clothes I wear. They talk about he don't know who the hell is he. He ain't Kevin Samuels. I don't give a fuck about any of it. And the reason I don't is because I know who I am. I know the value that I bring. I also filter everything, my worth, through my lens of I'm giving my own self, of my own lens of validation. I validate my own self. And so when you flip it and you begin to validate who you are, all of a sudden your voice, the voice in your head becomes louder than the voice on their paper, the voice on this digital screen, the voice on any social media platform. And so I don't take it personal. All right. And so what happens is, in dating, you must be aware that when someone says something about you, it's their projection of their own reality. What they're projecting is their reality. If they say things about you like you too high maintenance, well, they're projecting their reality that they don't have enough money to do what it is you want to do. So they're projecting their reality, but you don't have to internalize that. Okay, does that make sense what I'm saying to you? I hope it does. And so, but by the same token, is you can't take it personal either. You can't take it personal when they do the things, when he doesn't call back. All right. When he starts breadcrumbing, when he starts ghosting. you know what happens? I'm just going to simply mirror the behavior. Is I'm not worried about. So here's a misnomer. There's a misnomer out there that people say we need closure. You know, people say, I need closure. I need closure. I need to know, why did you do it? Why did you? The truth is we don't need closure. Let me tell you what happens when you think you need closure. See, here's how the brain works. The brain works in what they call brain loops. Brain loops, right? For instance, the brain loop is something like this. You know how when somebody tells you, I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you something. And they say, I'll tell you later, I'll call you back. I'm good for that shit, y'all. And then the person says, why can't you tell me now? Well, what happens is the brain is trying to close the loop. The brain, what people do is people, they do it on the news, they do it in marketing. On the news, they say, hey, 3 people get shot at 11 on Market Street. And what do they want you to do? They want you to tune in at 11 to close the loop. So the brain opens a loop, right? It opens a loop. And so the brain wants to close the loop. What it is that's where closure comes from. When you know the answer to, if you open a loop, the brain wants to close it. When the brain is unable to close the loop, the brain is living out there. The brain is lingering out there trying to close the loop, and the brain comes up with the answer itself. For instance, why did he ghost me? Open the loop. You open the loop. And you don't know. He doesn't know. You don't know. He just left. And so what you do is the brain will attempt to close the loop. So what will the brain do? Well, because you weren't skinny enough, or because you didn't give him sex, or because you weren't pretty enough. And so what happens is it attempts to close the loop, and you will come up with faulty information when you try to get closure. And so what I tell people is sometimes you just have to accept that you won't ever know. I learned this when my mother passed. My mother, y'all, was a woman who loved God. I mean, when I tell you, she was the kind of woman who would pray in the grocery store. You know how, like, you be in the grocery store, she just bust. She sees somebody, hey, sugar, God is good. And then all of a sudden, she just praying. And I'd be thinking to myself, oh, Lord, I'm embarrassed like hell. But I thank God for that praying mama. But anyway, so what happened is my mama had a stroke, and I thought God was going to heal her. And she never got healed on this side. And I was like, I used to ask questions, why? Until one day I said, some questions I have to be okay with not knowing the answer. And that was one of them. And so, y'all, some of the times, that's why I say you don't need closure, you need acceptance. You need acceptance. So what did I do? I just accepted that I would never know the answer, and I'm okay with that. I could move on. Does that make sense? You don't need closure. You need acceptance. Somebody asked what breadcrumbing was. Breadcrumbing is a dating thing. It's a dating term for when a man or a woman only gives you just enough to stay in a relationship. They call you just enough, not like they used to, or they may text you just enough. They give you enough breadcrumbs to stay in the relationship, but not what you're wanting. All right. So that's what breadcrumbing is. And the last one, y'all, the last agreement of the 4 dating agreements is simply this. You must be willing to speak your truth. See, here's the thing. The reason why this is super important is because speaking your truth is a powerful way to build a relationship. Now how you speak it matters. There are women out here who are bosses, but they run around with all this masculine energy, emasculate men. I didn't say speak your truth in a way that emasculates someone else. I said speak your truth, all right, because it opens up communication. It opens up the door to communication. It opens up the door to intimacy. Speaking your truth is about, I wrote this down, it says speaking your truth about what you need and want in a relationship is the quickest way to get those want and needs met, y'all. And so, but what happens is, do you know this? Most people, I say 90% of people are poor communicators. And I've proven this point many times. And I'll say to you, most of you, probably 95% of you listening to me are poor communicators. And you say, Coach, why would you say that? I'm a great communicator. And I said, okay, here's a test. Have you ever not said something to someone because you didn't know how they were going to react to it, or you didn't know what to say? And most of you would say yes. And then I would say you're a poor communicator. And so that is the one test. And see, so what happens is this, is you're afraid to speak your truth. The reason you're afraid to speak your truth is because, number one, you don't know how the other person is going to react to your truth. Number two, you don't know how to say it. And what happens is, because you don't know how to say it without offending the other person, because you think you're responsible for their response, and you're not. You're not responsible for the person's response or feeling to your truth. You're responsible for delivering your truth with compassion. And sometimes, y'all, we're so worried about what they're going to say. We're so worried about how they're going to view the truth. What we do is we neglect to say it. And so what I'll say to you is this: these 4 dating agreements, you have to agree with yourself. You have to make an agreement with yourself that, you know what? I'm going to learn how to communicate. I'm going to learn how to be authentically me. I'm going to learn how to not make assumptions. And I'm going to learn how to not take things personally. And if you don't know how, then what I'm going to say to you is reach out to me. I'll talk to you about the course that I'm doing. And it's not cheap. I'm just going to be honest. It's not inexpensive, but it's worth it. Everybody that I've worked with pretty much are in relationships. And if they're not in relationships today, they're going to be. And what I'm going to say to you is, you got to decide, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to invest in myself. All right, y'all. I said I wasn't going to be on here long, and I'm not. 4 dating agreements. I've given them to you. I'm going to save this video. It'll be saved. You'll be able to see it. Rewind it. Go back through it. All right. I got a couple people on. I'll give y'all 15 minutes and we out. Let me see. All right. Let's see. I got Miss E. Miss E. Coach. This is Coach Ken,
Hello.
aka the
Hi.
doctor.
I don't know if you
How
can
are
see
you?
me. I'm
I can
okay.
see.
I'm okay.
What's going on?
Obviously I'm well, what can I say? Thank
Don't
you
know.
for sorry?
I didn't hear you say, what can I say? I said, I don't know. I
Yeah.
need you to say it though.
So what I was gonna say is, thank you for breaking it down into four bits and pieces, just so like one can digest it. I think one thing I wanted to do is give you an update, because I haven't spoken to you in a while about
Yeah,
my
I've been off.
situation.
Yeah. How did it
um,
go?
so just to be honest, because I need to be honest and frank, at the end of the day, we're not talking anymore. Um,
Okay.
I have, changed my number, which I was going to do anyway, if I'm honest with you. But it just felt like all of a sudden we were talking and everything was kind of okay. Although there were a couple of things that did happen that were a bit red flaggish. I'm going to
Red
just say that.
flaggish. Red
And
flaggish. I like that.
yeah.
Okay.
So just to break it down, there was a situation where they wanted to use my phone because they wanted to check something on Google, and they were playing some kind of live internet game on their phone. They didn't want to interrupt their game. So I said, yeah, you can use my phone, not a problem. As they were going through Google, they would then like going through my history, verbalizing my history. I said, well, hold on a minute. You said you wanted to go on Google to go and search for something so you can order food from a local Chinese restaurant. So
Okay.
why are you going through my history like that? If you're going to just do that, just give me back my phone. And that's exactly how I said it. And he was then this refusing to give me back my phone and holding my phone up in midair. I thought, what is that is going on? I said, I want my phone back. Then the phone locked and it asked for my PIN code. And he said, what's the PIN code? I said, well, hang on a minute. I will type it. I'm not going to give you my PIN code. That just seems really evasive. Like you're trying to, be too nosy about what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. Not that I have anything to hide. And we're just only dating at this point. So ultimately, that to me was a bit red flaggish. She refused to give me back my phone, which I just thought was silly. And I said, well, if I did that to you, you wouldn't like it. So ultimately, we had been talking. Everything was okay. We moved on from that. There was one other issue that happened in between, and everything was fine. And then I just did not hear from him. And I
Okay.
called maybe a maximum of 2 times. I will not continuously call someone again and again and again. And that was just the end of it. And obviously, I have changed my number since. I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know. So that's just what that is.
Well, thank you for the update. Yeah, that sounded like that might not have been the best option for you.
No, no. And I think I just want to, next time when there are things that are of a concern, to either have a conversation about it or just nip it in the bud and call it a day. Not to let things go on for too long, because you're then, you're not you're limiting your options that way. You're blocking the person that should have been in your life from coming into your life because you're interacting with the wrong person.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at. So
Well, I appreciate you watching,
yeah,
and I thank you for giving me the update. All right, I'm starting to come
okay,
back next week. All right.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Take care. Take care. All right. All right. All right. Let me see what we got. Patrice, what's good?
Hey,
You on with the doctor?
good. That was good what she just said, because that's. I mean, I'm glad she did that. Just that was good. Uh,
Okay.
my situation is that I've been talking to a guy, on Instagram, and this guy he's seeming like he's being consistent. He's being consistent, which is, he's gave me FaceTime. He's been texting me. He's been, telling me, um uh, words of wisdom. I like you. You're beautiful. My thing is that, so we talked we talked yesterday. It was texting, and then I made a comment like, "Hello, how are you doing?" And then um all of a sudden it was like, it was I didn't hear from him. And then he texted me like maybe like an hour or 2 hours, and he said that he left his phone in the car. And then after that, I text him, and he didn't respond. And then after that, after he didn't respond, he responded to me today, and he said, "Good morning, gorgeous." And then he said that, "How are you today?" And then he made a comment. So I didn't respond after he said good morning and good morning, gorgeous. I didn't respond. And then I saw your video, what you said today about what to do about ignoring. And I did some of that. I did the question where it was like, I noticed that you didn't respond. So what do you want to do? I said, I noticed you didn't respond last night. Why, or something I said. And he said, really? And then he put quotation marks. And then he said, obviously you don't know my what's going on with me, who I am. And then he said, okay. He said, okay, have a good day. I told him I was at work. I did tell him I was at work. He said, have a good day and talk to you later.
So, what's your question, Patrice?
He just ignored me, like, and he got mad at that question that
Well,
you.
then, if he got mad at the question, what does that tell you? What does it tell you? You know the damn answer to this shit. I don't even have to go through this. You already know the answer.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't know. It's just.
You
It's
want me to confirm it for you?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, listen, he ain't that interested. When you want to go deep, he's not trying to go deep mentally. And so what that just tells you is, listen, he want to be surface, he want to breadcrumb you and give you a little bit, keep you on the hook for it. But at the end of the day, you know what the answer is.
Okay. I
Real
just,
talk.
I don't know. It just seems, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's just weird that he'll say, just, it's off.
Keep asking the questions, all right? Keep asking the questions. I
Okay.
appreciate you. All right.
Thank you.
Take it
Uh-huh.
easy. Are you welcome? What's up, Kathy? I can't hear you.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
That's good. Congratulations, congratulations, my
Thank you,
favorite
baby. I
coach.
appreciate you.
You're welcome.
What's
I
good?
just, you know what? The four dating agreements. I read the book actually, the four agreements. Well, I listened to it on audio, about a month ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm doing. So when you just switched it over to the four dating agreements, the things that stood out was don't make assumptions, because that's what I was doing. And I'm like, okay, Kathy,
Right.
you need to stop making assumptions. You can't assume. You can't assume. I'm struggling with that. And also the one, must be willing to speak your truth. Everything you said about that, Coach, I was like, oh my God, did he look in my room? Is he watching me? Is he, because that's something that I'm struggling with in this whole dating thing. So, I mean, things are going okay, but but I'm struggling with that. So I'm so glad you switched it to, like, dating. I can look at it as dating, but I kind of recognize those things. But now that you've talked about them, it's like, I'm like, oh, it's like the light bulb went off. Like, okay, I gotta really learn to speak my truth and not hesitate, because I'm thinking I'm a good communicator. I'm a teacher. I can communicate with people and blah blah blah. And it's no, I freeze up. I do. I freeze. Well, you know that.
I already know.
Yeah, I freeze
But
up.
that's why
Yeah.
I did it, though. That's why I did
Hmm.
it. And y'all, it takes courage sometimes to speak your truth.
Yeah.
But it's how you do it too. It's
Hmm.
how you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what? Because don't decide that your truth isn't worth being spoken, because it's not. It is.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
keep it inside, and it grows
Yeah.
into something.
Yeah. It
You know what I'm
does. I
saying?
appreciate it. Hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
good
It
to
does.
see
So
you.
it's good to see you too. Yeah. So I'm taking notes and writing everything down, and I'm like, oh man, you're speaking to me tonight. I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Okay. Yes.
I get a break from shooting for a while, so I'm
Okay.
coming back.
Good.
All
Okay.
right. Good to see
Thank
you,
you so
baby.
much. Nice to see
Thank you.
you. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. All right, y'all. I don't think anybody else. I see Jen had a question. I have a question, Coach. How soon after dating someone can a person decide if the person is the one for them? Is there a time frame? No time frame, Jen. It's about connection. It's about getting to know their core values. Sometimes you can get to know it quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but you got to be willing to ask the questions. That's what it is. So there is no time. All right. All right, y'all. I'm about to go. I'm about to get up out of here because I got a long day tomorrow. I just wanted to come on and give y'all this, and I think tomorrow or some other time I'm gonna give this same thing on Instagram and TikTok. If y'all follow me over there, I'm gonna work that out too. But I wanted to give people this because I just thought about it and it hit me, and it was amazing when it hit me, and I was like, all right, God, the revelation hit me, so I had to give it to y'all. All right, that's my time. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening. I'm out. Peace.